My next guest is Mr. Raleigh Kincaid, our behavioral therapist at Family Practice Associates. Welcome.
Thanks.
Now, we just talked about diabetes, and we talked about diet and exercise and diabetes.
Yeah.
But that has an effect in stress, too.
Yeah, they're very connected things. A lot of the stuff that you prescribe behaviorally for people to do to be better healthy people, I prescribe for them to be better emotionally healthy people. You know, diet and exercise are critical for managing your stress.
And there's certain types of diet things you want to avoid around the holidays?
Yeah, what you have to realize is that your stress is probably going to lead you to things you probably shouldn't do, the foods you shouldn't eat, heavy foods, this sort of hibernating foods at wintertime will want you to do. Going back second and third time for Thanksgiving is probably not the best choice either. So, I mean, it's always about being intentional on the front end, knowing what your choices need to be before you start, rather than just sort of going on instinct when the time comes to eat.
Also, alcohol and caffeine?
Boy, both of those for sure. I mean, again, lots of people use alcohol to manage their stress. They feel like that it helps them be less stressed. In fact, it increases their stress level. As soon as the alcohol wears off, the stress comes back even worse. A lot of caffeine will elevate your stress. You feel like you're feeling better, but in the long run, it increases your stress level and you feel worse at the end of the day.
Well, if I come to you and say, man, I just can't stand the holidays, I am stressed out, give me some things to do to make it better.
Stress during the holidays, how to make it better? Well, for one thing, just recognize that it's coming, that we're already a stressed people, we're a stressed generation, and the holidays just add a layer and all the other stuff doesn't stop at the same time. So you need to make sure that you're doing those things which are healthy things for you. Again, about intentionality. If you're a religious person, practice your religion during the holidays. If you need quiet time, make sure that you have quiet time. If you need still time, be still sometimes. But you have to know yourself well enough to know it's not a blanket thing. Everybody needs to do one thing in particular.
Well, one of the things that you mentioned to me is maintaining your sense of humor through the holidays. That's kind of tough to do sometimes.
Yeah, that's really hard to do. There's lots of situations where humor would be a good thing, but it's kind of hard to pull up. But there's no question about it. If you can't find a way to laugh about it sometimes, the family members that are driving you crazy, or the Christmas presents you can't afford,
or you don't want,
or you wish you'd give back, or that sock that you never wanted to have again. If you can't laugh about it, then laughter is a good, healthy laughter is a good, healthy stress relief.
How about time management?
Well, and that's the thing, because there's so little spare time, there's so little extraneous time. Every moment seems to be full. So you really can't afford to procrastinate. If you've got things to do, if you've got shopping to do, try not to wait till Christmas Eve. At work, try to be efficient in your work. Time management's very important. Not procrastinating, staying ahead, don't get behind on your bill payment, all sorts of things. Because if you put them off, you think that it makes you feel better to put them off, but then it gets you on the backside, and all of a sudden you're even more stressed than you would have been had you taken care of it sooner.